Gridiron Insight. I'm your host, Marcus Dent, and we're going to talk about high school recruiting, how you can help your athlete become more recruitable, if I would say, in this day and time with the portal and different things that we got going on right now in college football. But today's show is brought to you by Champ Pro Sports. Let our team build your team. Guys, hit that like button and subscribe. That'll help us out a whole lot. We're going to get into the show. Got a lot of good information for you guys, so let's jump right into it. Give you a little background on myself, man. I've been dealing with recruiting and high school football and everything to do with high school football and recruiting since about 2016. I've seen a lot. I've been around a lot, and guys, I'm telling you, it's a different day and time than what it was when I was playing college football and what it is now. I've been blessed to be able to help a bunch of kids in my last, 10 or 15 years of doing this. But we're going to jump into what's really going on in high school football and what's really, the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts of, what I can do to help my young guy get that exposure. So I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of things that's going on. Let's talk a little bit about the process. The process used to start in the 9th and 10th grade. For me, it started when I was maybe 11th grade. I played football at Alcorn State University, and things were a lot different back in that time than what it is right now. There's a lot of things happened since 2019, since COVID-19. A lot of things have changed. And our insight is what we want to do to help your student athlete become more recruitable and be able to get on that stage at an early age and not late, because there's a lot of things that can cause your kid not to get recruited these days. Okay. A lot of kids, they play on the travel teams, and that's good, but there's camps you need to go to. You need to have a trainer in some instance. Some people say, well, I don't have to have all that. This day and time, things are different. So before I get into all that, I got somebody who does this all the time. He is one of the best it is in Georgia, and Georgia is one of the hotbeds of college football. I'm going to bring to the show Coach Clifford Gator Browning from Top Notch Recruiting.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, Gator?
Man, everything's good. Everything good is good on the holiday. How's everything going with you?
Man, everything's good, man. Just got through eating a little bit, man, and just doing a little work this evening. So, I'm happy you can jump on with us, brother.
Oh, no problem, man. Anytime. Like I said, you call them, jump on.
Oh, man, man, just looking at some of the stuff you've done, man, over the last 14 years, over 1,200 kids, had opportunity to go to college, man, over $10 million worth of scholarship money and 98% placement rate, man. That's something that, a lot of parents need to know about. And I'm going to jump right into this thing, man. Every year, right before signing day, and I know you get the same thing, somebody send you the film, say, can you help my son?
Can you help my son? And I always tell people, because, people see you without even saying that. They see you making your post on social media. So a lot of people know what you do, and people talk about you in the community. But a lot of times, people like to wait to the last minute when there's no hope, or they've held on to the last bit. And I tell people, I say, in this day and time, I like I had a kid last year who came to me. I call it the fourth quarter of the
Right.
recruiting process, and I told his parents, I said, look, we probably won't sign on signing day, but the kid was like 6'4" receiver. He had already had some offers early on. He had
Mm-hmm.
but long story short, the kid ended up signing with Georgia State because again, Dale McGee them had just got that job, so he ended up signing late. The couple of receivers had kind of left, jumped in the transfer portal, so he was kind of thin at the receiver position, and he was able to sign with them. But like I said, that's few and far between. For me to take a kid that late, the kid gonna have to show me something special. But I try to tell parents, I try to educate them, as far as what they can do, as far as maybe considering a preferred walk on at that point in time, because the likely chances of them getting a scholarship at the last minute
It's not
it's
gonna
probably
happen.
it's probably maybe 5 to 10%. Just being
It's not
honest,
gonna
and it's 9 out of 10 it ain't gonna happen because you gotta realize, and this is what I kind of explain to parents, especially high school parents. I said you gotta realize the signing period for high school now is in December.
It
That
is.
February signing period
It's
is mainly
gone.
for transfers and porter guys. I mean transfer porter guys and JUCO guys. And you
Correct.
may see some high school guys, but if you really want to get your son signed, it's gonna be that December signing period. And then, but after that, they mainly recruiting those guys mainly from the portal. That they're gonna recruit portal heavy, JUCO heavy, prep school heavy. High school is like the fourth to last selection. So when parents are like, oh, I'm gonna wait to February, I say, well, that's probably gonna wait too late. You
Yeah.
know,
And coach, let's talk about this. This is a big problem that that I see with these a lot of the parents is waiting too late to go to camp. You get some coaches, and not all coaches. I'm not going to sit up here and point the finger at all coaches and put everybody in the same group. But you have coaches say, okay, just you got film, they'll find you. That day is gone too. I mean,
so true.
you
Yeah.
got to start. I tell parents there are different type camps. You got instructional camps. You
Hmm.
got you got combines. You got the mega camps. You got
Hmm.
all different type camps, and they need to understand. I tell parents, when your kids in the sixth and seventh grade, they need to be working out with somebody. Now, I'm not
Absolutely.
saying anything negative about the high school guy, the high school coach, but coach, they only have what, an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes with their kid.
Hmm.
So that kid is not getting everything that he needs to put in his toolbox to be able to perform.
Absolutely.
I tell you a perfect example. Um, we came over to Georgia in 2000 and maybe 16 or 17, and we played in the FBU championship
Hmm.
they have over in Atlanta. And man, I had some studs, but the difference was from the guys from Georgia. Man, they looked like they had been training. They had been
Hmm.
training. And I gotta let parents understand you gotta invest in your child. Go find you a good strength and conditioning guy. Go find you a good position guy to broaden your kids' horizon in their skill position. And then when they get on in the ninth grade, then you can start taking them to showcases and stuff like that. If you don't mind, give me your insight. Give me your insight on those young athletes and what age you think they should start going to the showcases.
So as far as the camps, I always say now, they have so many middle school showcases. I tell parents, if they're in middle school, start getting your exposure then, because then they can kind of see the guys who they kind of matching up against, from a development standpoint. So you kind of see where your son is and where the other kids are, so you know where to go as far as development. And then when you see you compare yourself to the kids that are getting the most notice, you can say, well, maybe we need to do speed work, maybe we need to do
Right.
strength work, maybe we need to do some of those things like that. But I always tell them, it's no such thing as, well, there's no such thing in middle school as far as getting some type of bad exposure. You know what I mean? My
Correct.
thing about this is because you should learn something from everywhere you go. If you go someplace and you didn't learn nothing, then you just wasted your money. You should go places to whereas you actually learning something, especially if you can get invited to those
Mhm.
things. So again, I'm a fan of camps, but like when we go to college camps, I say, oh, you want to make sure that, especially with my high school guys, that you've been evaluated or a coach know you coming. And even when you're in the eighth grade, like I said, if a coach know you, say, hey, if you're a middle school coach or you know somebody, say, hey, and they're gonna tell you, say, hey, I need to get I'm gonna go to this camp or this mega camp, and then what you'll do then is that what you'll do from there is just you'll um they are at least they'll know you coming. And
Correct.
so, like I said, when they know you coming, they can identify you, and then from an identifying standpoint, they can identify you. So now you're just not showing up blind. So when you show up blind, a lot of times it's like, okay, well, who is this? You don't want to feel like you wasted your time. When
right.
people know you show up, they can kind of look for you. So
That's
like
right.
I said, like I said, you always got to think about it from an exposure standpoint. That's the biggest part about exposure. Getting in front of people, letting them see you. But my thing about it is, especially when we were talking about middle school young guys, being able to compare yourself to the other guys, so where you know what you need to work on.
Yeah, that's what I try to. I'm just gonna piggyback off what you said a little bit. If you don't, if when you go to a camp, I hear someone, well, we didn't get nothing out of this camp. If you didn't get anything out of the camp, that's on you, because I had a kid one time, and he was like a ninth grader, really great athlete, and he was at our camp at the Southern League. That's when we were doing combines before we started doing the mega camps, and the kid was like, he would just kind of sit back in the back, and she said, my son hadn't had but one rep, hadn't had but two reps. But I gotta let people know, these kids that come into these camps are hungry. If your child sit up there and let somebody break your line in front of them, then guess what? That writer or that coach or somebody who's there, and we had a bunch of JUCO coaches there, they're like, well, man, this kid don't really want to play. You got to understand, it's a dog eat dog world when it comes to this recruiting. And if you take your son to a camp and he sits back with his hand behind his back, number one, he probably like, you know what, I can't play with these guys. That's what a
And
lot of
and,
parents
and,
don't
and, and
understand.
coach and like you said, coaches see that. Coaches love confident players. If you're a
Right.
guy that's sitting back and everything like that, a coach is thinking himself, is that guy gonna be scared to make a play? My thing about it is, when it come to camp, you're trying to earn money.
Trying to
You know what I'm
earn
saying?
money.
You try to make a name for yourself. You got to show that you hungry. Like I'm gonna cut the line. I don't care what it. If we gotta fight, we gotta fight. I ain't
That's
trying to keep the fight, but I'm
right.
fight. I'm
I
fighting to
know
get reps.
exactly what you're
And
talking
so
about, man.
like I tell people, even in the pros, I said, man, if you a guy that a low total pole guy, you got to take advantage of every reps. But you fighting for every rep, and then when I'm looking at them reps, I want to look good in every rep. But I'm gonna compete at all costs. You got to compete because you want to
All
make a
costs.
name for yourself.
All
You
costs.
just that's what it come down to. And these kids got to understand that you can't be afraid to compete. You know what I mean? You just can't. So like I said, if you say I want to go D1, but then you're afraid to compete at this camp. Oh, I want to get 20 offers, but you're afraid to compete. You really hurting yourself.
Right. Right. And the parents have to understand, you know, you go to one camp, you go to two camps. I done took them to camps, but what camps are you taking them to? Let's be clear about this. You go to Georgia camp, you go to Alabama, you go to Ole Miss camp. Okay, they don't know anything about your son. Okay, 9 times out of 10, you just there. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They know who's there already. If that coach didn't hit you up and say, "Hey, look, are you coming?" or personal invite, yeah, they might send you something. But if you hadn't had any connection with that coach, 9 times out of 10 that you're there. Now, I'm not saying that you're not gonna go to that camp and blow it up, but you gotta be honest. Your parents, you have to be honest with yourself about your kid. So you know what I'm gonna do? If my kid is not, let's just say he has no ranking or anything, and he's going into his junior year. So I'm thinking to myself, why am I going to Alabama when I could go to La Tech, when I can go to North Louisiana Monroe, when I can go to Alcorn State? You got to it comes a time, Coach, when parents have to realize what they're looking at, because as we both know, COVID-19 brought about changes. It
It
brought
did.
about JUCO here in Mississippi, one of the top in the country. You know that. But what
Hmm.
happened when COVID-19 came in, all these kids got another year. Then what happened after that? The portal came. So high
Hmm.
school kids, man, your chance are really slim compared to what it was, just say 3 years ago.
Coach.
You have
So
to
I'm
be
gonna
mindful where you take your child.
Coach. I'm gonna tell you. See, these high school kids have to understand that the portal ain't going nowhere.
It's not.
And the thing about it is that recruiting for high school guys. is more difficult now than it's ever been, because you got to realize something. A college coach gave me this analogy, and I share this with parents. I say, the coach asked me, he said, Coach, he said, what's your favorite cake? I said, I like red velvet. He said, who you like to make red? I said, my grandma. My grandma was alive, love her red velvet cake. It was the best. He said, what if I gave you the ingredients to make a red velvet cake? Or what if I said you can have your grandma's cake? Which one would you have? I said, I want my grandma's cake. He said, that's the portal. Like for us, you want us to take a kid that we don't know how they gonna be,
Right.
or you want us to take something that we already know what we're getting.
That's right.
So that's kind of how you got to look at the portal. So that's why they normally recruit from the portal first before they look at a high school kid. And there's got to be
Yeah.
a dynamic high school kid for them to come in and really offer. Like a lot of times, guys used to get scholarship based off potential. You got to be ready to play
That's
now.
gone.
So
That's gone.
ain't no
No,
gonna get scholarship off potential.
nah. I mean, even the FCS is getting kids out the portal because okay, let's just say I went to Ole Miss and I didn't make it, and I didn't do the things that I thought I was going to do. I didn't achieve my goals, what I thought I was going to do, but I want to play football. Well, if they can get a kid out that portal, they're going to get a kid out the portal because they say this kid got 3 years. He's already been at a program like Ole Miss or Mississippi State. Already been there 2 years and hadn't had any discipline trouble out of him. He just can't get on the field. So what are you going to do? You're going to take a high school kid, or you're going to take a kid who's going to immediately play and help you out and get on the field? So that's what parents are not looking at. They're not looking at that, and by not camping and not getting in, because you have a window, and you know what I'm talking about. You have that ninth grade to sophomore window to really say, okay, I know, if they're hitting you up in the ninth grade to that sophomore window, those P4 schools and some G5s, 9 times out of 10, you're going to sign somewhere. But if you're going into your junior year and you have nothing, you better be looking. I had a parent tell me one time, my son plays at Oklahoma. I had a parent tell me, well, Marcus, I want my son playing on Saturday just like yours. But here's the deal. He was a 6'1", 6'2" lineman. And man, I don't care how strong he is. I don't care if he's 300 pounds. That's not D1. I mean, that's not Power 5. You're going to be a center at best, and you better have the wingspan of a 6'4" guy.
Absolutely.
So and that's what we want to do. I want my deal with the Gridiron Insight, man, just come from recruiting to everything. I want to bring everything to the forefront for these parents and let them understand what they're getting. When you go to a combine, and I'm going to be honest with you, if you go to a combine, you got Rivals, you got 24/7, you got On 3. That's a good combine because they can't get you a scholarship. That's what people don't understand. But if a guy from Rivals and a guy from On 3 see you and they write this long article about you, all three of them write this article about this kid, I don't care what your coach says. Somebody's going to pick up your Twitter account and look at it. They're going to look at it because, okay, I done got 3 eyes on this kid. This kid is 6'4". He ran a 4.5 40. He 230 pounds. He gone. If he can play dead, he gone. So, and that's the thing that I really want parents to kind of understand is you got to start early. I tell every parent 8th grade. 8th grade, you need to start getting your kids ready. But before I go too far into things, Coach Brown, I want you to tell your company, give us the name of your company and where people can find you on social media and your place of business, bro.
All right, thank you. Name of my company is Top Notch Sports Consulting. We help student athletes increase their exposure to get scholarships. Been doing it since 2011. Helped over 1,000 plus kids in school. You can follow us at Top Notch Sports on Instagram. You can follow me at Coach Gator TKO on Twitter. I have on my Twitter account. I have every college coach. I have every college, Division I college and Division I AA school that follows me on my Twitter. I do a lot of exposure stuff on my Twitter. That's the thing that I always tell parents: make sure you get your Twitter. My website is www.topnotch topnotch1.com. They can go in there and see some of the things we've been doing over the years. Been pretty successful at it. I love what I do. Love educating parents on the process. And like I always tell parents, my thing about it is exposure, 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 more exposure, 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 exposure. Because like I said, you could be the greatest athlete in the world, but if people don't see you, it don't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything. And coach, like I said, I appreciate you, man. We're gonna have to get you to the SIP, coach.
I ain't got no problem coming out to the
down, bro.
ship.
Hey, definitely, we're gonna have to get you down, man. Like I say, this is just a quick insider, man, that we're gonna, that I'm bringing to the parents, because this is something that actually, I'm gonna send out to a lot of the parents because they need this information. You hear a lot of people talk around different things, and we know there's some bigger companies out there that do recruiting, man, but they'll bust your head. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Oh, they're gonna bust your head wide open.
Yeah, they're gonna bust your head wide open. We ain't gonna call no names, but we all know who we talking about,
Oh,
so
yes.
but that's a couple of things, man, that you just said I want to bring up before we close out is, man, we want to talk about social media presence. And
Oh, yeah.
I heard a coach tell me the other day, he said, Coach, we're looking at the kids' Twitter, we're looking at the kids' Facebook, we're looking at the kids' Instagram, because we didn't want to step further. I said, what you got? He said, we're looking at parents' Instagram.
Absolutely.
We're looking at
the
parents' Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah. So now when as a parent, you watch what you say, because you can hurt your child on social media. It has nothing to do with him.
Hey, Coach, I'm gonna tell you. So I had a conversation about 3 days. No, I'm sorry. This was on last Thursday. I got Kirby Smart has offered two kids I got on my high school team that I work with. But I got a 2028 kid he offered. And he was just like, he said, Coach, he was like, man, one of the kids' parents, he's very active on social media, ain't he? I said, I knew exactly what parent he was talking about. He's like, he's very active on social media, ain't he? I said, yeah. So I kind of told, I was like, Dad, sometimes we got to tone it down. You know what I mean? But they looking at the parents too.
Yeah, they're looking at everything, man. They're looking at, when a coach tell you, hey, look, I feel like your family got the right stuff, because right now, more than ever, they're investing a whole lot when it comes to money into your kid.
Especially
From NILs to scholarships it's a whole lot of money invested in your child right now. And they want to, if they look on Facebook and see the parent not being held accountable, then guess what? They're gonna attach that to their kid. I know it's not right, but you got to understand the business that they're in right now. So, like I said, parents, be very cautious of what you put on Facebook. There's a lot of political stuff out there going on. I try to stay away from the political stuff. I seen the other day that a parent was on Facebook, and it was everything was, Trump, this, that, and other, which I don't care who you vote for. That's not none of my business. But, when you put out negative stuff and you got a kid that's trying to get recruited, they're gonna be like, you know what, I don't know if I want somebody who's gonna pump that kind of stuff into the kids that we got here. Because basically in a locker room, man, is where you win games. A lot of people that haven't played college sports, that locker room's tight, you're gonna be tight. And I saw it the other night, man. I kind of, just kind of, everybody was kind of, well, what they gonna do? I'm talking about Miami, but man, I think Miami's. I think their locker room is tight, man. I think they're gonna be pretty good. They beat the bricks off Florida. Florida, man. But I just think that locker room has become really tight. I think the quarterback they got right now is really good. So they're looking for kids that fit in the locker room. And if your kid is not a locker room kid, if your kid is a me kid, I mean, they turning down five. I know some schools are turning down 5-star because they don't want to deal with the attitude.
Yeah, like I
So
said, Cristobal, man, they doing a good job down in Miami. You
yeah, he's
know,
doing a good
man,
job, man.
I talk with him a lot as well, man. He got a plan and he's sticking to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he got
So
a
those
plan.
guys, yeah, man. So he's gonna stick with it. Like I said, college football gonna be interesting this year.
It's gonna be
So
interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. I think the big change, and that's a lot of things that's changed, man. But right now, the Big Ten and the SEC right now, man, they the top dogs, man. You got the 12 over there doing a little something, but man, ACC, yeah, the SEC right now and the Big Ten is where I think the stronger teams in the country is right now, man. But like I said, man, hey Gator, it's always good to talk to you, man. Like I said,
always.
we're gonna get you to the SIP now. So you
I'm
might
gonna get
want
down to Mr. I'm gonna get down to the field. Hey, I tell my people. I tell Melvin. I said, look, I gotta get down there and give me some fish and spaghetti.
Oh yeah, they got that at the current store, bro.
He got it. That's what he told me.
All right, man. We appreciate you, man. You
All
have a
right.
good. We're gonna post your stuff up, man, where everybody can reach you, man. Y'all, hey, once again, man, give it up for Coach Brown. We appreciate you, bro.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, man. We're gonna wrap this show up, guys. I just want to talk just a little bit before I get off air. If you need to contact me, my Twitter handle is at the bottom, Marcus Dent 93. You can hit me up on Twitter at any time. Might give me a second to get back with you, but I will. We'll talk recruiting. I'll hook you up with Coach Browning. Whatever your recruiting needs for your athlete, we're going to be here for you. But that's the end of today's show, and I appreciate everybody. We'll see you next time on the Gridiron Insight.
That was good, man. It was short. It was about 25 minutes long.
What'd you think about it?
I loved it. You know what? There's not even a lot of editing we can do on that one. We can go ahead. Yeah, we can go ahead and upload that.